Tell, so stand by when you're ready there. All right, hey, welcome back. It's Ray Thompson in the studios here in New York. We're going to go now live down to Las Vegas, Nevada. We're standing by at the Wynn Hotel, Baran Budak, with Virtua Research joins us. Baran, welcome to the program.
Hi, Ray. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Listen, tell me, what brings you to Las Vegas, your company there? You're talking, I know, with the investor relations officers. What are you telling them?
Well, thank you. I'm mainly here for gambling, but just kidding.
Don't forget the hookers.
Oh, now you mentioned. So I'm here just to go over the latest technological advancements in the IR industry, and we are a fintech company that helps companies with their consensus estimate, managing consensus estimates and peer benchmarking, and providing them a little in-depth analysis and variance analysis that helps companies to get ahead of some bad surprises, because the negative surprise has more impact than positive impact surprise. So, you don't want to go have a negative surprise, and that has and what you can do is to do your homework before, and talk to analysts and adjust their estimations so that you don't come across with any negative surprise.
Nobody likes bad news, particularly when it's a surprise. When companies miss their earnings estimates, and is it your role there to help them quantitatively understand how the estimates are going to come out? Is it both quantitative and qualitative?
That's a great question. It is more quantitative than qualitative, I would say. We mainly focus on numbers, margins, assumptions, and what are the driving forces, and not just to the main line items, but to the operational drivers. We go into the weeds and more granular, and try to have it from top to bottom to top approach from there.
Now, why do you think the market reacts so firmly when companies miss earnings estimates? Are they sensing that's a weakness in the strategy? Are they thinking the company might be out of touch with the investors? Why does stock often fall when earnings estimates are missed?
That's a great question. It is part of the communications, miscommunications, and not talking to the outliers beforehand, and you can just focus on the outliers first. That has the most impact on the misestimations, and if we go into the components of each line item that you can focus, then you can bring them back, and obviously you want to estimate their estimation. You want to adjust their estimation, not your internal numbers when when you think you're missing something. So that's why it's important to have external communications, coming from the coming from company itself to outside.
Now, is the at Virtua Research, do you then, on behalf of the company, do you talk to those analysts? How do you help correct the models they may be using, or how do you interact with the investor on behalf of a client?
That's a good question. So we have some measure. We don't talk directly to analysts, but we flag them to the public companies. And we, anyone who is outside of, for example, 5%, 10%, 15% outside of mean or outside of the guidance, we, flag them to the company. Or if they want to have a little bit more quantitative measure, we can, anyone outside of the standard deviation or mean absolute deviation, level 1, level 2, then they can have a little bit more systematical approach to it. But guidance, anyone who's outside of the guidance is usually the company's preference to adjust.
Your competitors in the space, and what do they offer that perhaps you don't?
We don't really have quantitative model competitors here. So we don't really compete with anyone in the competitive model side in that much of a detail. And we don't really do much for the qualitative part. FactSet, Bloomberg provide consensus as well, but they don't really go into the operational drivers and that's where we come into play, and customizable models, and also the cost. So it's obviously the Bloomberg comes with so many other services. So if you are really trying to get one consensus service out of all the other services that Bloomberg provides, then the cost is really reduced in our case.
And if you were talking to investors here, or talking to the investor relations officers here, Mr. Budak, what would be your message to them?
My message to them is to definitely try to get more understanding on the financial analysis, and most of them, and the trend is getting into knowing more about companies, not just from broader perspective, but from also each line item, where they come from, so they can also speak more quantitatively as well. If everyone speak more sophisticated, then I think it's better for market, to move into perfect market direction.
Yeah, your better numbers mean better outcomes.
Yeah, that's right.
Baran Budak, thank you for joining us from Las Vegas. We'll get you back to those craps tables, which I know are calling your name right now in the slot machines. We'll let you get back to that. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Ray Thompson, standing in for Brian Sullivan on Worldwide Exchange. We'll be back after this station break.
Thank you, Ray.